If you've seen the conversation, particularly around childcare, it's been an interesting narrative that's kind of come out in the papers and in the media over the last couple of days on this. The media has asked the government, why didn't $10 a day daycare feature prominently in your budget? Why didn't a $400 renter's rebate, as was promised in the election, feature prominently in your budget? Well, precisely because we are communicating with one another. And in the Confidence and Supply Agreement, if you go and look at the Confidence and Supply Agreement, you don't see $10 a day daycare. What you see is a commitment to creating an affordable child care program so that parents with young children like me can have options so that they can go to work and so that their kids are looked after. So when we were negotiating, we were having a conversation, we didn't arrive at our platform position on child care or the government's position on child care. What we arrived at was something in the middle, which is a negotiated position which says we've got a lot more work to do. So the reason why you don't see $10 a day daycare, even though the government is who the government is because they've agreed we're going to communicate with one another. We're going to negotiate with one another. And we weren't able to come to a decision point right at this time, so we're going to continue the conversation. On the other hand, they also knew that we didn't support just giving a blanket $400 renter's rebate out. And that there was going to be some pushback, and Andrew Weaver was very clear that he was going to push back strong on that. He did not believe in it. And so rather than put it forward, the government wanted to have a conversation so that we could then stand next to each other on it. And our goal is that if we're communicating with one another, if we're giving each other notice, if we are living true to the 5 most important words in that Confidence and Supply Agreement, good faith, so 4 words, and good faith and no surprises. And I think that that's what our relationships are about. That's what the relationships are about in this room right now, coming into a room with a group of people. That we enter into here with good faith, and that there's a commitment from each other that someone's not going to surprise us with whatever. Let your imagination run, or not. But the point is that we enter into these agreements with one another all the time, and it's not foreign to us. And that's fundamentally, when the media says to me, Adam, are you going to pull the house down because the government said this, or because the government said that, or the government didn't do this, or didn't do that? I said, no, because we're communicating about it. I was aware that they were going to do that, or I was aware that they weren't going to do that. And we talked it out. We had a conversation. And the media has been very sensational in this, and of course they're not used to this situation, and they're looking for the story. And when I was in media school, if it bleeds, it leads. That's what we were taught. If it bleeds, it leads. That's what you see on the front headlines. So today or yesterday, you woke up and you saw on the front page of the paper, Andrew Weaver says NDP election platform is irrelevant. He said that. But that's not the context that he said it in. What he said it in was the child care component of the NDP platform is not relevant to the discussion because codified in our Confidence and Supply Agreement is a different statement. And that's the conversation that we're going to be having. That's the starting point of the conversation that we are going to have around child care. And if you don't see an item in the Confidence and Supply Agreement, then the government's platform plank is not irrelevant. It's very relevant. And it's the conversation starting point at which we, my colleagues, and our colleagues in the official opposition, will then be playing our role as Her Majesty's official opposition and a party with 3 MLAs.